The 9-year-old gelding Get the Lotsky goes around in race 1 there on Sunday and will be ridden by M. Yusri. Recent form only average. He was placed earlier this year over the 1400 metres. Has never won beyond 1400. Has placed up to the mile previously. He comes out of barrier number 8 and goes around in race 1. That is Get the Lotsky. Now let's have a look at these two horses from the Kevin Coatsy yard, both engaged in race 2. Second Chance is working up on the inside of Luck Happy. Now Second Chance will be heading the weights in the Hibiscus handicap, and all of his victories, the 4 career wins, have all been over the mile. And Luck Happy returned to some sort of form recently, has been dropping down in the rating. Second Chance will be ridden by Essendon, and Luck Happy to be ridden by J. Daniel. Luck Happy coming off a last start 5th at the Derby meeting. Both runners engaged in race 2. Top Turf goes around in race 2. Has been an improver in recent starts. Is coming off 2 placings in a row. Coming off a 3rd over the 1800 metres here at Ipoh. That was during the Derby meeting. So has been freshened up for Sunday's outing, and the apprentice SN Shiva will take the claim aboard Top Turf. He looks a lightweight chance. He goes around in race 2 from the yard of Shanmugam and draws barrier 6. Polo Master engaged in race 2 and has got a very good form line over the mile. In fact, he's won 4 times over the 1600 metres, closed off well in the race won by Soon You Think over the 1800 metres last start on the 12th of January. Casey Wong will take the ride. He draws barrier 10. Polo Master, he'll be coming home with a wet sail, a moderate beginner, but if there's early pace on, he'll be in the mix. That's Polo Master. He also goes around in the Hibiscus handicap. That is race 2. From the yard of Stephen Cook, and this is Congratu, goes around in race 3. Congratu's only had the 1 victory. That was in June last year. Has had the 12 starts overall and is 4th up this preparation. Has been running on well in recent racing without really threatening. Coming off a last start 5th in KL, which was over the 1600 metres. Has placed up to the mile previously there in KL. That is Congratu. P. Mogan takes the ride. He'll take the claim and draws barrier 6. Congratu goes around in the Rose Stakes. Now, Not Usual Prince will be going around in race number 3, the Cosmo C Rose Stakes, and is coming off an unplaced run in the Derby. Will appreciate the much easier company there on Sunday with HS Gill to take the ride, and coming off some very good form, including a novice victory going back to November last year. He's had the 9 starts for the 1 win. That was over 1400 metres here on his home track at Ipoh, and draws barrier number 5. That is Not Usual Prince, who is working up on the outside of Morales. Morales carries the 35 saddle cloth. Not Usual Prince on the outside carries number 38. Now, Mr. David was working up on the grass on Tuesday morning, and Stephen Cook is the trainer. R. Reuven will take the ride aboard Mr. David. He'll be having his 4th run for the stable, 4th run this preparation, and wasn't far away in the race won by Tongariro over 1700 metres last start. He's only had the 1 placing from 12 outings. That placing was in Singapore over the 1800 metres going back to last year. So that's Mr. David. He goes around in race number 3. Now, Rant Rave is engaged in race number 4. Will be ridden by his track rider there on Tuesday morning, M. Yusri. And Rant Rave has had several runs now for the PK Leong operation. Hasn't been far away. Was placed 2 starts ago in a Class 5 over the 1400 metres going back to the 4th of January. And draws barrier 9. That's Rant Rave. He's only had the 2 wins from 24 starts overall, and his last victory was in March of last year. Rant Rave goes around in the Sinner Area Handicap. That is race number 4. Archer Company has been around the mark in recent efforts. He's coming off 3 placings from his last 4 starts, and Archer Company goes around in race 4 to be ridden by the apprentice SN Shiva. He comes out of barrier 3. He was placed behind Quasar over 1,200 metres back on the 12th of January. So the apprentice Shiva rides the horse for the first time on Sunday. That is Archer Company. Loyalty's Angel, she'll be coming up for start number 53, remains a maiden, but she did come close a couple of starts ago when she went down by a short head here back on the 12th of January. Draws barrier 12, will come into gate 11 after the scratching, and J. Daniel will take the ride aboard the mare. That is Loyalty's Angel. She'll be looking to break the egg in race number 4 on the program, the Class 5 over 1,200 metres. Double Rainbow is engaged in race number 5, the Lily Handicap, and draws barrier 12. Is on the downgrade, coming off a recent Class 4 placing, going back to the 4th of January here over the 1,400 metres. From the Evert Van Broekelen operation, Shankar Muniyandi will take the ride, and that is Double Rainbow, coming off an unplaced effort there in Penang earlier this month. That is Double Rainbow, 4 wins from 37 starts overall. Now, Swiss Roll is engaged in race number 5, and that's him working up on the outside of stablemate Golden Empire, who's engaged in race number 2. But Swiss Roll is still a maiden, but has been an improver in recent starts. Only the 5 runs to date for the 1 placing, and that was last start when finishing 3rd in Penang over the 1,100 metres when he had to be used up early. So Hafiz will once again take the claim. Swiss Roll draws barrier number 8 and goes around in the Lily Handicap. That is Swiss Roll working up on the outside of Golden Empire. The Kevin Coatsy pair going around in the Orchid Stakes there on Sunday, race number 6. And they are Grand Cross, and Grand Cross is working up on the outside of Star Genius. So both horses clashing against one another. Of course, Grand Cross in very good form. He's going for the hat-trick, coming off a 1,200 metre victory last time out. He once again carries the 60.5 kilos with HS Gill aboard, and the mare Star Genius, who was placed in the Vase last year and coming off a recent second over 1,200 metres. Star Genius will be ridden by Casey Wong, and that's her on the inside of Grand Cross. Both horses go around in race 6. Now, One for All is coming off a long break. Hasn't been at the races since April of last year when finishing second over the 1,000 metres. HK Cheng will take the ride for S. Shan Mugam. Might need the head out here, One for All, the 7-year-old gelding, and worth watching first up there in race number 7. Draws barrier 9, goes around in the Peach Blossom Handicap. That's race 7. That is One for All. Now, Purple Rain goes around in race 7 also and is working up on the inside of stablemate Napoleon, who goes around in race 1. Well, Purple Rain, coming off some reasonable form, was placed behind the Inform Astra there at Ipoh going back 2 starts ago. Began awkwardly at Penang last start, then just went around for practice. And J. Daniel will take the ride on Purple Rain this weekend and draws barrier 10 from the yard of KF Wong. That is Purple Rain, going around in the Peach Blossom Handicap. Now, given a slow time there on Tuesday morning is Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon will draw the pole in race number 9 with S. Saddam aboard. Will be second up for the Yvette Van Broekelen camp. And it didn't do a great deal in Penang last start, finishing 7 lengths behind the eventual winner, but may improve second up from the break. So Lethal Weapon gets in with a lightweight, will carry the 52 kilos in the Daffodil Handicap, which is run over the 1400 metres. He's still a maiden, is Lethal Weapon. He's had the 2 placings from 17 starts overall, but has placed at the Track and Journey previously. Now the 10-year-old gelding is Empire Bay and draws barrier 10 in race 9 with HK Cheng aboard. Has come off a few unplaced efforts but has been gradually working his way back down the ratings. He's now back to 35 points on the CRS and hasn't had a start since finishing unplaced over 1400 metres here back on the 5th of January. So after the freshen up from the Peter Lee yard, that is Empire Bay, who goes around in the Daffodil Handicap. Alassimo goes around in race number 9 on Sunday from the yard of KF Wong. J. Daniel will take the ride. The horse has been out of the winner's stall for quite some time, and that's him working up on the inside of the maiden performer stablemate Amazing Dragon. Now Alassimo coming off 6 wins from 57 starts overall. Hasn't won a race for just over 2 years, but has been dropping down in the ratings. He's had 5 runs back in Class 5 company, and was placed and was narrowly defeated by Raise Me Up 2 starts ago, going back to the Derby meeting. So that's Alassimo going around in the 9th on the program. That is the Daffodil Handicap. One horse which is racing in good form at the moment is Parney Star. Parney Star goes around in the Peony Handicap, race 10. It's on the upgrade, coming off 2 Class 5 victories in a row. The most recent there at Penang over the 1400 metres. In fact, both of those victories over the 1400 in Penang. Hafiz aboard the gelding on both occasions. He retains the ride and draws barrier number 9. So he's got the huge advantage on the lightweight after the claim for S. Hafiz. Parney Star goes around in race 10. Multi-Blue Tosca goes around in the Daisy Handicap, race 11, coming off a Penang victory 3 starts ago during the Governor's Gold Cup meeting there, when he was able to lead all the way from barrier 1. He draws well in race 11. He draws barrier 2 with Ferdriel, who'll once again take the ride. He was aboard the gelding when it won in Penang on the 29th of December. And from the yard of Stephen Cook, that is Multi-Blue Tosca, who goes around in race 11. He's won 5 from 33 and has won on 2 occasions over the 1400 journey. Last start winner King Power goes around in race number 11, coming off that victory over 1200 metres back on the 12th of January. HK Cheng will take the ride and he draws a barrier 6. He's had the 2 victories overall from 17 starts, has been a consistent performer in recent months, and he is going for back-to-back victories once again in another Class 4 contest, and that is the Daisy Handicap, which winds up the program there on Sunday. That is King Power from the yard of Peter Lee.